Hey, this is Jamie, back again. Just been talking about the Red Velvet Rope policy, and next we're going to be talking about why people buy what you're selling. Okay, there's 3 reasons why this is really important, and there's 4 steps of how to do it. The 4 steps: pick a target market, understand the needs, determine where to hang your hat, and identify the core benefits. But we'll come back to them later. So we'll just focus on 2 pieces, 3 reasons why it's really important, and the 4 steps of how to do it. Okay, so 3 reasons why. In a really simple sense, the 3 reasons are to locate, to dedicate, and to leverage. They're the 3 reasons why we want to understand why people buy what we're selling. So from a locate perspective, it allows us to more easily find the people who we're meant to serve. So that's locate, we can find them. Dedicate means that when we do find them and we approach them, they know that we are dedicated to those people. Okay, so it's understanding the right terminology. We'll come to that in more detail later, but to understand that, to help others understand that we're dedicated to them. And leverage is that we can use established networks of communication to be able to communicate to those people that we are dedicated to serve. Okay, so a few other pieces on top of that from an also. It helps you get to know your target audience a whole lot better. Okay, there's a target market and niche. I'll just talk about that quickly. A target market is a group, basically a group of people that you're meant to serve. We talked about the Red Velvet Rope policy, we talked about the perfect client. Now the perfect client is a subset of that target market, so there might be 1,000 people, but actually only 50 of those people fit into your perfect client. Now there's something as well called a niche or a niche, depending on which continent you're on. But a niche is termed by different people different things. In this instance, a niche is what you're very good at. Okay, so a target market for me, specifically as an example, are experts or consultants, people who try and help other people. That's my target market. And the niche that I'm very good at is helping people get more clients. Whether it's marketing, direct response, online, offline, that's my niche. So being able to help my target market with my niche filtered down to my perfect client. That's how you put those 3 together. It's really important to know that. The reason why as well is when we actually look to grow a business, there's 2 types of ways to grow a business. Number 1 is to add more services. So if I have a target market, I can add more services to be able to sell more. So as an example, in my business today, I do a lot of one-on-one consulting, but I also have an online membership site. I also have web services, search engine services, other services around that, which allows me to offer more services to my clients. The other way to grow your business is to take your skills from one market. So as an example, my market is experts, and then lift that up and drop it to consultants. Very similar things to what I do, but I'll be using slightly different language. So over time that allows me to grow my business, and you can do the same with very focused markets you have, and you can lift if that's the way you want to grow your business. So they're the 3 reasons why: locate, dedicate, and leverage. Alright? Now the 4 how-to steps for this, from why people buy what you're selling. I have to write down what I wrote already. I wrote it myself as I'm checking to see if I spelt it right. So the first step of why people buy what you're selling is pick a target market. I talked about the reasons why before, and how you do that. Some high-level steps of how you do that is to work out what you're passionate about. Okay, and almost think about it as if you get paid for it, you'd almost think it's silly that you love what you do and people pay you for it. I'm lucky, I love what I do, and people pay me for what I do. So some people say to me, I'm living the dream, and my answer to that is yes, I am, but I've worked hard to find this dream, and you can do the same too. So an important part as well is don't pick it for someone else's needs. I meet lots of people who do things because their parents say so, or their clients have asked them to do things, but it doesn't actually truly gel with them. They're not very happy with what they do. Does that sound like you? If it does, then perhaps you haven't found your true calling, your true target. So that's something to have a think about. I have to say, this can be one of the hardest things you ever do in business, finding the right target market. It's took me Since I've been doing consulting for the past 4 years, it's took me probably 18 months of real hard thought to actually really hone in. Some people find it really quickly. Some people find it within a week, 2 weeks, a few hours even of very concentrated thought. Others it takes a long time. I'm one of the, it took me a very long time. So I've been through this experience myself and walked the talk, so I can share that with you. I guess one thing, if you do get stuck, don't try and overthink it. Just let it flow naturally, the time piece as well. Don't worry about trying to do it quickly. Just go towards where it feels right, and over time it will develop. As my example, I started with business owners, small business owners, and over time I started niching in the areas that I found myself very good at, and that just developed over time. So don't worry about getting it right first time. Just enjoy it, and also if you're not really sure, ask a few very close people to you of ways that basically ask them for their input and bounce ideas off them. Some of the most successful people in the world have asked people around them, what am I good at? And they've listened and they've gone with it. So that's from a pick a target market, number one. Number two, out of the four, is understand their needs and desires. So there's two types of people in the world. They move away from or towards. So away from is problem solvers, towards is goal achievers. There's no right or wrong, you're one or the other. And if you understand the needs, really the away from, for your target market, and also the desires, the towards, for your target market, then you're actually going to be able to better use that in your language when you talk to people. Okay, so you can actually, there's a workbook within the Book Yourself Solid book, and also some questions within the book that you can actually start using as part of the way to formulate this. So needs and desires, away from and towards. That's step number two. Step number three is to determine, easy for me to say, determine the one biggest result that you can hang your hat on. What do I mean by that? There's got to be one big promise that you can say, I can do this for you. Okay, and that promise needs to be a big one. It also needs to be true. If you're going to give someone really the excitement of a promise, you need to be able to deliver on your promise. So what promise can you give people? I have a few, and it depends who I'm talking to. But one of my big promises is that I can help people free up 2 to 3 hours a day within one of my expertise areas of personal productivity. That's just one promise. I've also got promises that I've seen results from some of my clients. One of my clients achieved 50% of their 90-day goals in 2 weeks. So one of my big promises is I can help you achieve a lot more in a lot shorter time frame. That's from focus, and that's from some of the tools I have in my business. What's your promise? Where do you hang your hat? But just make sure you can deliver it. And the fourth out of 4 steps for why people buy what you're selling is understand the main core benefits. Okay, there's a real easy way to do this. It's FEPS. It's called FEPS. So FEPS, and the FEPS is financial, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So use that framework, financial, emotional, physical, and spiritual, to understand on the towards and away from, where do they fit in for your clients or your target market even. So some people say to me, oh well, how can we do physical? And if you think about it, well, do your clients get stressed about something? Do they lose sleep over something? And if you help them, would they get more sleep? If that's the case, that's physical. Okay, so financial is pretty self-explanatory, emotional is pretty self-explanatory, physical, and some people, spiritual is a very big part of them. So if that's a part of you and that's a part of your target market, how does that best apply? So they're FEPS, that's the way to remember it. And what you want to try and do as a guide, using the FEPS as a structure, is try and work out how you can give 20 times back someone's investment in you. So return on investment, ROI on FEPS. I'll try not to throw many acronyms at you, but ROI, return on investment in FEPS. So financial, if someone pays $2,000 for you, how can you give them 20 times that? So how can they get 40,000 back off you? Okay, so always use it as a number, 20 times, to give you a guide on how can you best articulate your promise and the benefits to your prospective customers. And this will get you in a really good, solid space for the foundation on understanding why people buy what you're selling. So that's all for now. That's video number 2 on the foundation. Just go away, have fun on this, okay? Don't take huge amounts of time, don't get stressed about it, be yourself, however quirky it is, and just basically keep learning about yourself and about your target market, and you'll be light years ahead of your competition when you start building this into your foundation. If you want to find out more, go to theprofitpartnership.co.nz/BYS. That's theprofitpartnership.co.nz/BYS, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Alright, bye for now.